Another fun way to extend Affinity Photo even further is to use plugins. And similar to a previous video I did on the Nick collection from Google, there's another suite out there called the Topaz Studio. And it's basically, they call it a photographer's editing toolbox. And this, I would say, is just an extension of an app within an app to where you can tailor fit your photos to what you want to do. And luckily it's for Windows and Mac, so you can download this on any device of your choosing as long as it meets the system requirements. So I'll go ahead and download this and show you how to install it. I'm on a Mac, so I'm going to go ahead and install this way. You can do it the other way if you're on a PC. I actually went ahead and downloaded this prior to, so you'll see this DMG that ends up on my desktop. So I'm going to go find that and install this real quick. So you just click through to install. And unlike the Nick collection, we can't really say where we want it to install, so it's just going to install its root folder. You'll need to accept the license as you go ahead and install it. It does install quite a bit of data, so it's about 922 megabytes, which is kind of a lot, but it's required. On a Mac, you'll want to enter your password to go ahead and let it do its thing. And it should take some time, so I'll speed this up. Okay, so depending on your connection, your internet connection, that may take a long time. It might take a relatively short time, up to you on your locale. And if it does take a long time, obviously maybe install that, take a break, come back. With it installed, we can finally go to our preferences in Affinity Photo. If you have something open, you'll need to open this to do that. We do have our plugin support folders. I've already installed the Nick collection from before, so that's what you see on my screen. If you don't have this, I do have another video of how to do that on Affinicasts. Definitely check that out. So we're going to actually add a plugin support folder, and on this screen you're going to want to hit Command-Shift-G on a Mac, and I don't know that you'll need to do this on a PC, so you guys are in good luck for doing that. So we'll actually want to do a particular path, which I'm going to grab from this document here. And it's going to look inside our applications folder into Topaz Studio, the app itself, and then the contents of that app. So let's try to go in that one. And within that folder, we want to look inside. I'll have to reference, I think, the documentation real quick. We want to reference the resources PS plugins. So resources PS plugins, and then that's the plugins we're going to need. So now I've got both the Nick collection, which is going to look into this particular folder, and then the plugin support folder for Topaz Studio. If you only have the Topaz Studio app installed, you'll want to allow the unknown plugins to be used. It's just kind of a security thing. So definitely do that. And authorize global. In your case, if that's active, you can go ahead and click that button and let it authorize. So in this case, I think we're good. If we hit close, we should have to restart like we are here. And it hopefully will take effect once we relaunch Affinity Photo. I downloaded a photo test driving this, so I'm going to go ahead and do that and open that photo back up. Okay, one thing I think I'm going to add back on this screen, I think I've meant to before, is add the actual application path. So I'm going to find that Topaz Studio folder and just go ahead and hit OK there, and we'll see what happens if we close this. We'll have to restart again and see if our plugins show up. So here comes Affinity Photo, and let's see if our plugins are here. There we go. Okay, great. So they are. So I'm going to open up a photo and we can toy around with this real quick. I'll probably do other videos of actual use cases for this, actually editing photos and showing what you can do. This is more or less just showing how you install the app and how you can use it in Affinity Photo as an extension. So let's open that photo I did download. And I'll go to filters and we can just toy around with this. There's tons to choose from. I would just probably go into Topaz Studio directly and it should set up. And you can create an account from the screen. Maybe I'll do so. So I'll go ahead and log in on this screen and we'll see what happens. Looks like I typed my password wrong. Let me try that again. I think more or less to have an account, it's to opt into pro features, of course, as well as get automatic updates for the app as it pushes things as they progress in building the application. So just short walkthrough of what you can do and getting familiar with this. Definitely read through this. So if you're coming from, say, Lightroom or any kind of app like that, this is how I would describe as an extension of something similar. So we'll wait for this to configure and then we'll be ready to boot up and work with. Okay, so we have that first one-time configuration process done. So now we can actually open up something and manipulate it within here. So maybe I'll go ahead and grab the same image we used from before. And you can see all these effects that come, basically one-click effects that you can do with this app. So it's kind of unique in that regard, but you can open up multiple images just like Lightroom if you're used to it, and do all types of just quick and easy transformations here. So all these presets are bundled into categories. You can click through each and it will just optimize the image right before your eyes, and you'll see the difference that it makes. So I'm just doing some like grayscale architecture here. I'll probably go back to, let's find like a landscape, yeah, and use some sort of filter here. So we've got clouds. And if you want to see like a 2-up, we can do it like this. This is something common you'd see in Affinity Photo anyway. This is a separate app, so it's not going to be the end result that you'd see in Affinity Photo, so keep that in mind. These are subtle, and you can always adjust them just like you would in Affinity Photo. So look at all of these adjustments you can make. You can even add text. So obviously, you know, not a huge dynamic change in some of these effects, but there are subtle and just preset ready for you to work with. This one's kind of nice. It's basically just another photo editing app, so it's kind of nice. But I would say Affinity Photo is a little more refined in terms of the UI and the look and feel. But this definitely has some power packed into it. So give it a whirl. This video is just, of course, to show you how to install it. There's tons more you can do. Obviously, all these effects and stuff, you can go ahead and click through and see what you think looks good on your own photos. Again, you'll want to access this. It's basically a separate app, so that's what's beautiful about it. But so the output can be any type of file, JPEG, TIFF, or PNG, and just choose where you want to save it. If you want to adjust the quality, all that stuff, it's just like you would in Affinity Photo, but it's a separate app. The nice thing is that they're just tied in as plugins to work with Affinity Photo. So that's how you install the Topaz Studio plugins. It's pretty simple. If you run into issues, you can leave comments on this video below, or if you check out the Topaz Studio site, it's quite easy to get up and running. But there's tons of things packed into this. You can do all sorts of manipulations to your photos, just like you would in the Nik collection. It's just another adaptation to an already awesome Affinity Photo interface. So I hope you enjoyed this. As always, thank you for watching.